Hey everyone, this is my reaction to the 12th and final episode of the second season of Kobayashi-san Chi no Maid Dragon. I knew I would have to say that final episode bit at some point, but it doesn't make it any easier. The knowing that it's inevitable, it really doesn't help. Anyway, last episode was great though, because we got all that cool backstory on Toru and the world she came from and the lore and stuff. And the father, we got to see him in a context where he doesn't seem like a big jerk. So that was great, right? We got a lot of great stuff last episode, and I'm hoping we get a lot of great stuff this episode too, especially if it is the last episode, which I believe it is. MyAnimeLIst listed as 12 episodes, and that's really all I'm going by. But yeah, let's jump on in and see exactly what the episode is about. 3, 2, 1, play. Not though. Disgusting. uh, you do that, Con. I'm too tired for those big words, Con. I'm awake. Don't worry about it. Uh, good job. Oh yeah, festival. I think I remember that from the preview. That'd be a lot of fun. Naturally. They do that. Are you gonna go with Kobayashi Toru? I mean, of course she's going with her. Mondays, am I right? So thinking about all that dragon stuff, I mean, it would be hard not to. She had a lot dropped on her that day. Man, when it's in slow motion like that, you can really feel it. It's quite the question. I suppose that works. Don't try to force things too much, just flow. I am glad to get the acknowledgement from Kobayashi that things are getting serious between her and Toru. Like, it feels like with this season we have definitely like crossed a certain barrier. Especially after, last episode, how much Toru really opened up to Kobayashi and stuff. We know what makes her tick. Oh, awesome. Great. I was hoping we'd have a bit more of them be relevant. And we've had some really good shots in this episode already. Things are changing. This definitely looks like a festival. All those fancy decorations. It's a fine choice. Yatta. Only Kana could sound somewhat monotone and somewhat excited at the same time. Oh wow. I actually quite like them both. Yeah, that's the whole point. It's important to do that. Don't leave it to luck. That kind of defeats the purpose, Kobayashi. Yeah, that's not a satisfied face. Also, there's that, I guess. I mean, there's a lot of stalls with a lot of food. Of course, Elma's happy. I should have known. Naturally. Yeah, I think that sign's an omelet, I assume. I mean, she looks good in anything she wears, let's be honest. Only 400 yen? That's not too bad. As expected. Also, I do quite like Elma's outfit. Looks really cute. They truly are close friends. The bestest of besties. Is it a pharmacy? Yeah, naturally. She still looks big, even wearing one of those. There's some things the yukata cannot hide. Oh, okay. Lukua. Meanwhile, Shota's just sitting there enjoying his food. Yeah, I was kind of thinking that too. Like, she can't really relate to any of these talking about their own stories. I can just picture Kana just shoving her head in there and biting one. Actually, I think yours is a bit cuter, Saikawa. Oh my god. Well, that was a little bit different. I was actually about to say something somewhat similar. Like, always keep doing that. It's like, I kind of planned to. I'm glad they're having fun. I said something wrong, but rude. I mean, you knocked it over. It's complicated. But then I met the mother of dragons, and she made my life better. Etchi. Oh wow, that was pretty good. Should have seen that coming. It's kind of hard not to be fair. Oh, those are knees. Never mind. I didn't know what I was looking at first. You finally gave him a chance to say something, and did that ever happen? I mean, that face is pretty telling. He really doesn't. I do quite like Luqua's outfit as well. I think his suits are rather well. Yeah, I gotta go to Toru. Oh wow. Seeing that actually in kimono form, that actually looks better than I thought it would. You actually really like it. I kinda want it. Just hanging up in the back there somewhere. Just the two of us. As it should be. That's what makes it a date after all. Yeah, that was really nice. Yeah, she's become a lot more forward. I'm not sure what the best word for it is. That's an example of it. I mean, I think the Japanese word's like sekyokuteki, something like that. It's not really a great English equivalent of the word. I mean, she's the one that kind of gets to decide if it's okay or not. She is. Good. Kana was doing that earlier in the episode. Good. That was a line. You want to run that by me again? Well, yeah, in some respects, in a lot of them. I think there are plenty of those things, Toru. Right, timed with the fireworks and everything. Say it back, Kobayashi. Their outfits are just so different. I'm sure she is saying I love Saka or Kana over there. That is a that is a shirt. Another outfit I kind of want. I wouldn't wear it outside, but is she gonna say it back? Oh boy. I mean, it wasn't quite what I was hoping for, but it was cute though. It was still cute. That's like how his forehead. These pictures, the quality leaves something to be desired. This show. Well, if Kobayashi actually did say I love you back there to Toru, I probably would have died. I mean, I don't think I could have handled it, honestly. What? That's a character design. Yeah, I think I saw that in Hunter x Hunter once. I mean, nothing. Hanami is great. I've always wanted to try it. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's... Man, I always loved Kyoto animation. Sakura petals. Life. Good man. Knew we could rely on you, Takia. Oh, there's a blanket. Kobayashi's flower behind. Do we? You'll survive. Good. Wow. Okay. Get your release. I'm sure it is. Luqua's butt just kind of closer to the camera than they were. Because that's good luck, isn't it? Well, it feels like it when you like live in these big old cities and stuff. Some of us are enjoying nature more than others right now. Are those Vitas? I never touched a PlayStation Vita, but I think that's what that was. I really can't get over how beautiful the trees are. And the constant flow of the petals. Amazing twirl. Yes, Matt. Sorry, I didn't mean to bump you with my... Why? I mean, I wasn't expecting Elma belly dancing, but I will take it. Even with that odd face on her belly. well, I mean, I guess people are enjoying it. I'm still recovering from that Elma thing. That was so unexpected. Okay. Stool. She's so short. I mean, my money's on the dragon, but... Oh! Well, that's... I mean, that's more or less what I expected. Jesus. I guess you should be glad to have the arm attached at all. Okay, this might be a bit closer to a fair fight, but still not really. Well, I don't think it matters. Okay, this is also very unbalanced. He just noped out of there. Okay, this is actually the most fair one we've gotten so far. This... Quick, distract her with your belly, Elma. Okay. Comes down to these two. I mean, my money's on Lukua, but... Call him Fop-kun. Yeah, because the dodgeball wasn't one-on-one. Oh, we are taking this serious. Come on, Toru. You don't want to be defeated by a Harmony Dragon or a neutral dragon? That's what I meant to say. Oh. Oh, that's cold. Soda! But it's what Toru needed. Also, the cat keeps changing position down there. Now I have a tail on my foot. Yeah, the betrayal. your loyalty can just be bought like that, Shota. I thought you two had something special. Poor Luko, I feel so bad for her. And she's still willing to be clingy with Shota. Good thing she's a forgiving type. Yeah, don't get too much. An indirect kiss. And there's just so many petals, it's honestly crazy. This and that. Like, if you didn't lay down long enough. Shota still enjoys that. I mean, I could watch that all day. I thought maybe she's gonna go for a lap pillow or there's something there. Where are you going with this? Are we gonna have Kobayashi be an idol because of a... Oh! Oh! Okay, I mean, that's a lot better than what I was thinking. Okay, let's do it. No arguments here. I don't think she was told about this, though. Oh, wow. Okay. I never thought I'd see Kobayashi in a wedding dress. Oh, okay. We are really doing this. Okay. I also was not ready for this. You may kiss the bride, I guess. You know. Please say it, Kobayashi. It will complete me, I swear. Sounds like she's about to sneeze, but... Wasn't quite what I was hoping for, but I could feel the love in it. You know, I honestly thought it was going to be a sneeze until, like, the very end of it. Quick, catch that bride. They have all of mine. Just... Toru may have come on a bit strong there. Like, I know she's been a bit more accepting of Toru lately, but it's probably a bit much to jump to a wedding like right now. Yeah, I'm willing to conform to human values and get married before we bang. It's... Breaking out the animation, I see. Also, watch out for Kobayashi. Man, it was such a peaceful scene, too. Man, this whole scene is pure Kobayashi Maid Dragon series. Yeah, she's still having fun. As she runs from her bride. Runs from the explosions. Oh, Shimai. So we're just gonna... Oh. Well, what is that final frame here? I mean, for a second I thought it was gonna be like a season 3 announcement, but this week's Who's Rotten? A Libra will definitely make it happen. Lucky advice. It's pointless to hide in a shelter because I'll just wipe them all out. You'll force me? Question mark, exclamation mark, question mark. That is Okay. Okay, I guess that's a thing. It in fact does not say season 3 announced, but it is what it is. So that that was the 12th and final episode of the second season of Kobayashi-san Chi Maid Dragon. I mean, I wasn't quite sure what to expect for the final episode. Like, I saw a little bit of the preview, so I kind of knew. Well, I knew / remembered when they brought it up in the episode that it would be the festival would be a part of it. I knew that much. Not much beyond that. Definitely less battle-y than season 1's conclusion, where they tried really hard to have something feel like a climactic ending, right? You know, this one was a bit more. Definitely had a very different feel to it, right? Because that ending was kind of just all about getting Toru to not leave, you know, getting the father to back down and stuff like that. Whereas this one was more about kind of a climax of the actual relationship between Kobayashi and Toru. Like, Toru's been really been wearing her down, you could say, right? Kobayashi has been progressively more and more accepting of Toru over the course of the show. And even this episode in particular, she really was just like, kind of, what's the word for it? Like, trying to fully process, you know, her current relationship with Toru, you know, how it is, how it should be, all that sort of stuff, right? Because Kobayashi being a human, Toru being a dragon, it definitely, a lot stems from that, right? Toru is so much better than Kobayashi at a lot of things, as was brought up in the episode. But still, humans have their pros as well, right? But at the end of the day, what really matters beyond their individual species and abilities and backgrounds and stuff like that is just the feelings of the two in question. Like, that's really what matters the most, and it's important not to lose sight of that, right? But yeah, the festival stuff was great. I mean, everyone was having a pretty good time. A lot of the characters wore yukata. Not everyone did. I mean, at first Toru didn't, and then she did, right? Because she was working at the maid stall, having a good time there. But yeah, Kobayashi just kind of had to wait patiently for Toru to get off work so they can go on their date, which is kind of funny in itself. But the good news is it did give them a chance. It did give Kobayashi a chance to interact with the other characters, which had to happen then because, you know, she wanted her alone time one-on-one with Toru for it to be a proper date. Which just all of that, I love seeing it. Like, I love it so much. Like, Kobayashi being the assertive one, the proactive one, whatever you want to call it. You know, really trying to, you know, have the moments with Toru, right? Because a lot of their dynamic has been Toru kind of pulling her along, right? So it's great to see. So that was all I was really trying to say. But I also had some pretty good stuff between Saikawa and Kana. They had a lot of fun as well. Even had Saikawa's spirit, I don't know what you'd call it, kind of shoot out of the back of her head at some point. And of course, a little bit of stuff between Take and Irodu. Not a whole lot, but enough, right? And Irodu, I mean, it was important to have a little bit with Irodu, definitely, because she actually was introduced this season. So getting to kind of a bit of a reminder, you know, that the character development that she's had, the role that Kobayashi played in it. It was good to showcase that kind of stuff, right? And Helma was just having the time of her life here because she is our glutton. She loves food. And what is a festival if not just countless stalls full of delicious festival food? So she's like constantly two-handing various food. So, also, I like Kobayashi. I like her conversation with Shota. She like straight up asked him if he liked Lukua, and he spits out, well, or he just spits, basically. It was funny because around that time I was starting to think to myself, Shota's really not doing anything in this scene. He's just kind of sitting there eating his food while grown-ups talk, right? So, and then Kobayashi actually gave him an excuse to talk, and it's like an awkward question, right? I mean, we know he likes Lukua, but he's also like a blushy, shy boy. So he's not going to just straight up say that, right? But I mean, the look on his face was really all we needed, honestly. Is there anything else I want to say about the festival? I mean, basically, we just got great alone time, great interaction between a lot of our pairs, a lot of our couples throughout. Yeah, what exactly was Lukua wearing? I mean, it's obviously not a yukata. I guess just like some kind of dress, but I thought it looked great on her. Because we saw her wear, I'm pretty sure we saw her wear yukata last season festival that they went to. And I think she looks better in this than she did in that, right? In my opinion. But yeah, it was great when we finally were able to transition to Toru and Kobayashi in their alone time. Because, I mean, that's kind of a big part of what I come to the show for, right? The interactions between Toru and Kobayashi. As much as I enjoy Kana and Saikawa, Toru is kind of the titular character, you know, the Maid Dragon, right? And just... Yeah, I think despite how much I like Saikawa and Kana's relationship, I think my favorite is still probably Kobayashi and Toru. Like, it's kind of hard to say for sure, but it's close. But I do think I will feel a little bit more invested in them. Even though the Saikawa Kana one's a lot cuter. They're just a lot more to Toru and Kobayashi. I think just a lot more stuff that makes it more interesting. A lot of stuff that just makes it a lot more emotionally invested in it. Right? It's a lot deeper in general, I guess you could say. Although I will never complain about transitioning from them to some Saikawa Kana cuteness. I will never complain about such a thing. But I was really hoping that Kobayashi would say she loved Toru in this scene, right? I mean, I didn't expect it, and if it actually happened, I would have lost my mind. Like, I'm not really one of those over-the-top reactors, right? I've never been that. I physically don't think I can do that. But if we actually did get an "I love you" there from Kobayashi, I would have had an over-the-top reaction. I really would have, but it didn't happen. She just said "omoi" instead, or "you're clingy" as it translated it to. Which, you know, so again, she like smiled when she said it, so you can still feel the love. Sometimes it's not what they say, it's how they say it. You gotta read between the lines, all that stuff. And that was pretty much just our first half. Our second half, we actually had the Hanami, the flower viewing, right? And it was great. I mean, I actually really like it when they end off a season or a show with this kind of flower viewing scene. Because it's just such a great opportunity. It's almost like those, American animation films, how a lot of times they'll end off a movie with a dance party, from the Shrek influence on other animated movies, right? And ones that don't know how to just write a good ending. The flower viewing scenes like this in anime they have some similar benefits, is what I'm trying to say. It's an excuse to get all the characters together to have a fun time, and it's an event that doesn't happen very often, but it's still a lot of fun. A chance for everyone to be together, a chance to just have fun, not have anything too serious, just have a good time with everyone. And just everything about it was great. Just absolutely beautiful Kyoto animation. I knew they were going to really deliver with the sakura trees. As soon as I heard a flower viewing was happening, I was waiting for those Kyoani flowers, and I saw them, and it was great. And I'm pretty sure we had a constant flow of the flower petals too, which can't be easy to animate, right? So the fact that it was basically constant and just so numerous was just incredible. Also, we had Elma. We had Elma take off her clothes and had a face on her belly, and she did a belly dance. Oh man, that was probably the most random thing of the episode that I couldn't have possibly predicted. I mean, what do I even say to that? Just, Elma seemed so happy as she was doing it too, and Shota seemed happy about it, and Toru seemed happy about it, all kind of for different reasons. But it was great, and she even did it again later in the episode too. It was great. And an arm wrestling tournament, because why not? Why stop at having a Hanami as your final episode, but you can have a little bit of a tournament arc as well between dragons and humans, because that's totally fair. And some of them needed stools, which was kind of hilarious. I mean, having a stool for a short person, it's just, I don't know if you can even really call it a gag. It's just kind of a necessity if they're short, but I always find it amusing, personally. But man, Takiya's arm, that may never heal. We may need some special dragon healing magic on that thing. Also, Lukawa bullying poor Kana in the arm wrestling match. I mean, because they're both dragons, but one's an ex-goddess, one's a child dragon, child by dragon standards. I mean, Kana could have defeated any of the humans, but Lukawa, not so much. And speaking of Lukawa, yeah, freaking Shota was cheering for Toru. That is horrible. Why would you not cheer for your own familiar? That's cold. But yeah, Toru and Lukawa going at it was pretty good too. because that was the first even match, because we've literally been told on the show that they're about evenly matched. So theirs is probably the most exciting match to see, because you didn't know who was going to win. Like, I figured Toru would, because our titular main character, our Maid Dragon. But yeah, the Luco one, though, they really had some nice, like, particle effects, whatever you want to call it, which I appreciated. But yeah, she bribes Shota. I mean, kids are easy to bribe. It's fair enough, but still. Everyone really did look like they were having a great time. We just had some just gorgeous facial expressions and smiles throughout. And then we had the nice little scene over by the tree between Kobayashi and Toru, drinking alcohol. And yeah, even Kobayashi having a great time, which is good to see, because Kobayashi, I mean, more so than anyone else, she kind of looks perpetually depressed. I mean, if you compare her to a lot of the other characters, right? But yeah, she had a pretty good time, and she's also the one that's like, the beach, I don't really want to go to the beach, but you know, I'm watching the kids, sure, whatever, let's go to the beach. Like, oh, amusement park, I don't really know much about amusement parks, fine, whatever, I guess you're going to the amusement park. Like, she's always been that kind of, you know, character. The closest thing to a wet blanket we've had in the show, so whenever we can see her, like, excited, having fun with everyone, it's nice to see. It definitely helps that there's alcohol involved. Like, let's be real, that's a big part of why Kobayashi was excited, right? And I really know, you know, second only to the belly dancing, I was surprised that Toru just said that they were having a wedding ceremony. Like, what I was initially thinking about, even like in the beginning of the Hanami scene, I thought this might be a good chance to bring back that Kobayashi idol gag, because that was kind of like cut off pretty quick after it was introduced as a concept. So this would have been a good chance to just bring it back up, like, Kobayashi, this is your chance to become an idol. Here's the microphone. Give us your best singing. Like, of course, Kobayashi would not have been happy about any of that, but it would have been funny to watch the scene unfold. But still, the wedding thing, I really was not expecting that. She just materializes Kobayashi a dress, materializes herself a dress, and we have our two lovely brides, and Toru tried to get her to say, I love you, and that would have been ideal, right? She's like, if she says, Toru, I love you, and then they kiss, and then everyone cheers in the background, and it's great. I would have truly lost my mind if all that happened. I did not expect it to happen. Like, I knew she was probably going to run away. Like, the most I could have possibly have hoped for in this scene was probably just a begrudging, you know, I love you, I guess, you know. Like, definitely would not have expected a kiss scene. I think that might have been a bit beyond what Kobayashi would be willing to do at this stage. But I was kind of thinking, like, maybe, you know, a slightly sarcastic sounding I love you from Kobayashi, maybe that's possible. I was kind of starting to think about that, because the only reason that I actually thought that may be a possibility is because it was kind of seeded earlier in the episode where Toru wanted Kobayashi to say she loved her. So, and since we had this like kind of like a second prompting of her to say it, I thought that would have been like, you know, narratively speaking, that would have been a good chance to have her do it. Like, maybe she had a little bit of time to think about actually saying the words, and this could have been like a bit of a payoff on that. So I was like, had a little bit of hope that she might say it. But once we started the beginning of the eye, right? You could feel it, right? You could feel where it was going, where she wasn't going to say it. I didn't know what she was going to say. I seriously thought it was going to be a sneeze. Like, for like 99% of the buildup of it, I thought it was going to be a sneeze, but then we had that aho. And it was a loving aho, though. You can tell. You can tell the feelings behind it. But man, did she scream that at the top of her lungs. And then we started the music as she runs away. And she chases. And I'm kind of watching it again here on my end. But yeah, like everyone just kind of like, yeah, begins chasing as well. I really did like the music. I didn't comment on it at the time, but it was a nice touch. That season 1 music. Also, what does Shota say here? According to this magic crystal, this wedding ceremony will ... They cut it off. What was he gonna say? Like, he even listened to the Japanese and doesn't clarify it any further. But, oh well. Maybe he's gonna say this wedding ceremony is destined to happen. I don't know. But it was a nice little way to end off things because we had the Hanami and it was nice, but like we know this show it's somewhat chaotic, right? So we had to have some little explosions, a little bit of a chase scene to really make it to give it that true Kobayashi Dragon Maid feeling. But yeah, I do appreciate Toru's willingness to adjust to the human customs, right? Getting that marriage before the baby making commences, right? Which is, if you can do it, is the proper way to go about it, for sure. And Kobayashi just ran away anyway. Maybe she wants to skip the wedding after all. I don't know. Guess we'll never know because it kind of ended off on there. But Kobayashi seemed happy. Toru seemed happy. Everyone's happy, right? Why wouldn't we be happy? We're all having a great time together in this world, learning about each other, drinking alcohol, just playing video games. Some of us blasting energy blasts and making explosions and arm wrestling, and really the amount of fun things, the amount of fun activities they managed to just kind of like compact into this one episode, pretty mind blowing. Really. I also think we saw Kana like fly off from one of the explosions at some point. But yeah. I think that's about everything I had to say on this final episode. Which, you know, I'm probably already like 40 minutes into the recording or something. Actually, I can check that. Yeah, 41 minutes. So, yeah. So, and I still have the rest of the season to talk about because I usually like to have a bit of a general overview of the show as a whole, or season as a whole, in this case. Right? But man, where do I even begin? Like, I've commented multiple times on the fact that this season was better than season 1. And now that it's ended, I definitely agree with that. Like, I don't think it's even up for debate. Like I'm taking into account recency bias, and I still don't think there's much of a debate. This was better than season 1. It was. Season 1 had the job of introducing characters and stuff like that. It kind of had that burden on its back, so a bit of a disadvantage. I mean, Elma didn't even show up until like episode 8 or something, right? And this episode, how would I describe it? Or this season rather, it was like season 1. Like, set up the shot for season 2 to like dunk it. I don't know. Is that a good metaphor for it? That's all I got. Right? Because season 1, it got us the characters, got them all living here, got them mostly adjusted to living here, to where we were, by the time we got to season 2, it wasn't really any more of like, what do I do? How do I job? How do I live? How do I shop? You know, like they had kind of gotten past the initial adjustment period to this world. With the exception of Itaru, but that's a bit of a different thing, right? So season 2 got to like, this is a better way to phrase it. Season 1 was like planting the seeds, and season 2 was them blossoming. It's a much better analogy, metaphor, thingy, whatever you call it. So, for example, Elma, like personally, on a personal level, she had great development. She learned how to do her job properly, and she got closer to Kobayashi, and she now, also taking some burden off of Kobayashi because Kobayashi was doing so much of her work. So she don't have to worry about that, which is great. She's now a valuable member of the company, and she can contribute. So, and she also had some like development alongside with, or development / backstory getting into along with Toru, because we really didn't know much about them in season 1, aside from the fact that they butt heads, right? Harmony Dragon, Chaos Dragon, they fought. 3 islands sank last time they fought. And she came after Toru because she's a Harmony Dragon and she can't allow a Chaos Dragon to just come to this world and cause chaos. That'd be ridiculous, right? So she came here to stop that. But that was all very surface level stuff. Season 2 actually allowed for some really unveiling the actual feelings behind those actions, where it was a lot more than just the surface level stuff we got in season 1. The bond between Elma and Toru is not just enemies or whatever. There's like a deep friendship there as well. And the episodes that really delved into that were fantastic, especially because we got like additional payoff from that when Elma had this one-on-one fight with Toru, which Kobayashi refereed or something. Right? They got to have this amazingly animated, just beyond epic fight. Kiyoani just giving it their A game because they knew this was a very important scene. And we got that. And then, like, in the midst of it, Elma just unleashing her feelings to Toru. And then after that, so a bit more fighting with smiles and stuff. It was all great. The Toru Elma stuff. It also, when they were both being security personnel, right? Like walking around the town, you know, when they defeated the dragon Buster's gang or whatever, right? That was also a good scene of Elma and Toru interacting, just showing what great friends they are. Like, I love their friendship a lot. Like, that may be my favorite friendship in this show. I mean, not how to phrase this. Like, I mean, Toru and Kobayashi are friends, but they're like more than friends, and I'm kind of making a distinction there. That's why I'm also not counting Kana and Saikawa, because they're also kind of a couple. So we're talking just like friendship where there's no, like, there's definitely not going to go anything further than friendship. That would be Toru and Elma, right? Because they're of course not going to go beyond friends, because Toru has Kobayashi, right? Although there was that one scene when Elma was when Kobayashi told Elma to close her eyes, she didn't seem all that unwilling to have Kobayashi kiss her in that scene. But again, Kobayashi has Toru, so that would never happen. Anyway. Although I guess there's also the friendship between Takia and Fafnir, I guess. Which, although I do have a cute girl bias, generally, so I think I would still put Elma and Toru above that on that basis. But still great, nonetheless. I mean, that's actually an interesting thing between Takia and Takia and Fafnir, right? Because we never really had like a big emotional moment between the two of them, really. Like, they're definitely, I mean, they're roommates, they're gamer buddies, they definitely have a strong bond, you know, they're bros, like there's no doubt about it. But like Fafnir, he's not really the emotional type to begin with. Like, I think the most closest thing we've gotten to like a real emotional thing between them was that one monologue that we got from Fafnir in season 1, where he calls Takia a hit, or however you want to translate that, right? And that was him acknowledging that Takia is definitely someone special to him, right? But nothing quite like the epic battle emotion releasing that Elma did towards Toru in that episode, right? There's nothing been quite like on that level between them. But the relationship has just been a pretty, like, more or less constant, good one. Like, that's how I would describe it. There's really been no like real heated moments between them. I don't think so. I wonder if we'll ever get that. Probably not. But just kind of something I was starting to think about, because their relationship is a lot different than the others in a lot of ways. Like a lot of ways. Like a lot of the relationships we have in this show. I'm sorry if I'm slurring my words a little bit. I am really tired and I've talked a lot already in this video. But, like, because, I mean, we have Shota and Lukua, right? Like, a lot of these relationships are definitely, like, very chaotic in a lot of ways, right? Because we have Lukua and Shota, and then we have Iruru and Take, right? And if you compare those two relationships to like Takia and Fafnir, there's definitely a difference, right? There's no chaotic element to it. If that's probably the best way I can think to phrase it, right? Most other relationships have some sort of chaotic element to them, whereas Takia and Fafnir is just like chill, just, you know, there's no room, there's not much room for like Tsukomi or, you know, anything of that nature, right? There's no, like, one of them running away from the other one or getting embarrassed or panicky. Like, there's none of that. So I feel like Takia and Fafnir's relationship is very different than most of the other ones in the show as a result of that. I mean, also is the fact that they're both dudes, and that's the only example of that in the show as well. But anyway, that just kind of came to mind, so I wanted to talk about that a little bit. Although this video is going to be stupidly long. We're almost at 50 minutes, but it's Kobayashi-san Chi no Maid Dragon. Like, I could probably talk with this show all day. I really think I could, honestly. So, yeah, what do I want to talk about next? I mean, Iruru, I should probably talk about that a little bit. Like, I knew about her as a character before I started watching this season, because I had seen like a manga page or two floating around the internet that there was this dragon that was not introduced in the first season. And she had a chest that kind of put Lukua to shame, you know? I heard things like that. So that was like the one real thing I knew about season 2 going into it, is that we would get introduced to that character. I didn't know anything about her. I didn't know she was chaos. I didn't know anything, really, aside from her just general body structure. So she showed up and it was great. Like her epic battle with Toru and Elma being bribed to minimize the collateral damage so Toru could go all out and just smack down that Iruru girl. And of course, as the audience, we knew she would eventually come into the fold. Kobayashi would work her Mother of Dragon magic and she'd be a good girl going forward. It was only a matter of time, right? But there were still a lot of unexpected things with this character. The fact that she gave Kobayashi a penis was definitely not something I could have ever possibly predicted, right? It's a shame that she never got to put it into use. That would have been great, but maybe next time. Like, they can do it again. If Yudu can do it once, she can do it a second time. So there will be an opportunity, I'm sure, at some point. First, we got to get this successful marriage ceremony down, and then we can worry about that after that, I suppose. But, so yeah, Yudu did manage to find her own spot in the world, get a job, get her own person to interact with, to have funny interactions with, because every dragon needs that in this show. Everyone needs that. So I'm glad she was able to find a job that suited her so well. What else? I mean, I've already talked a lot about Kobayashi and Toru. Like, the relationship made great progress this season. We got a lot of head patting. We have just a lot more in general. Kobayashi being much more reciprocative of Toru, being able to just respond better to her feelings, to her interactions, right? Being able to head pat without Toru having to basically force her to, right? So a lot of those things were great to see. I still can't believe that we actually got a season 2. Like, I was seriously, I had gotten to the point where I was like, season 2 is not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I guess I'll just wait till the manga ends and read it then. I was kind of like in that mindset, and then we got a season 2 and just I had to check to make sure hell didn't freeze over. But now, kind of in the same position though. Like, season 3, when like I need more of it. Like, you can't just cut me off. I need more Kobayashi in my life. We haven't got the kiss yet. We haven't even got the I love you. They wouldn't even give us the I love you. I don't care if it was anime original. Kyoani, give us that freaking I love you. But that's why we need. That's why we need a season 3, right? Like, they were really teasing us. They were really getting close, right? Like, I was so close I could almost taste it. There's like 3 words, Kobayashi. I mean, I think it's technically 1 word in Japanese, daisuki, or aishiteru, or whatever, right? Like, you couldn't even do that for me, Kobayashi. But it's fine. I'm used to disappointment, right? Because that's what life is. But season 3, make it happen. I don't care what you have to do, what devil you have to make a contract with, or QB you have to make a contract with. Make it happen. Do I have to just grab my wallet and throw money at the screen? Because I'll do it. My wallet's way back there. I'm not going to grab it right now, but like, just say the word, Kyoani. If I need to throw my wallet at the screen, I'll do it. But yeah, this season was great. Like, I can't believe it's over. Like, I still haven't quite come to terms with that. I mean, I started the episode saying it was the last episode, and yet I still refuse to believe it. It's like, I say things that are supposedly true, even though I don't believe them. That's one of those things. Kind of like gravity exists, I didn't officially document or prove the existence of gravity or how it works, but that scientists, they say it's a thing, and I see things drop, and I guess it's a thing, right? And similar with Kobayashi Dragon Maid, like, I don't believe this is the end, but next week, and when an episode doesn't pop up, it's not much choice but to accept it at that point, I guess. But right now, I'm still in the non-accepting part of this situation. Right. Yeah, just it feels like I just had so much great stuff, and I finished eating it all, and then I look in front of my table and it's empty, and then there's just nothing left but sadness. That's kind of the position I'm in right now. So. So what did you think of this season? Right? Like, because I don't really look at much anime discussion on the internet, right? I really don't. I probably should. Since I'm a reactor, I should probably do a better job of just getting a general idea of the overall, what's the word I'm looking for? Consensus on certain anime related things, but I'm pretty disconnected from it for the most part, which is somewhat of a good thing, because I I can go into shows as blind as I can, right? Because there's been a couple shows I've reacted to where I watched like other people react to it, and they're like, well, I know this and this about it because it's all over social media and I couldn't avoid it. And I'm sitting here like I avoided it. Like I don't really social media much, so I didn't know that Twitter was extremely butthurt about this anime, about a certain aspect of the first episode of this anime. I didn't know that. I just looked at the anime. It looked cool, so I watched it, right? So there's been a couple shows that have been like that, right? Shield Hero is a good example. Goblin Slayer as well. Like I don't really, the drama that happens on the internet, I'm mostly disconnected from it for the most part. So I probably will try to keep it that way going forward as well, for the most part. I have nothing left to say. I don't even know why I haven't hit the stop record button. Actually, scratch that. I do know why, because when I do, it's truly over at that point. It's truly over. But yeah, Kobayashi Maid Dragon, it's just been one of my favorite shows. I've rewatched season 1 more times than I could possibly count. And now we have season 2, so I guess I could look forward to rewatching this a bajillion times. Like, I haven't really yet watched reactions to it yet, so I guess I can do that. Can you recommend me some good reactions to the second season of Kobayashi's Maid Dragon? Because that'd be great. Because I could vicariously experience it again through somebody else. That's the whole point of reactions, right? To an attempt to recapture your first viewing of it by watching somebody else's first viewing of it, right? And you watched my first viewing of this show, and I think I did a decent job getting across how much I love it. I love the show. I love all the characters. Like, I love their interactions. I love the world. I love that gorgeous Kyoto animation. The animation. I don't want it to be over. I don't want it to be over. Why does it have to be over? It's your fault. It's you, person watching this. I blame you for it. Like, why? Anyway, I'm going to end it off here before I just start truly breaking down and just making absolutely no sense. But yeah, if you enjoyed this reaction, please click the like button, support me on Patreon so I can keep doing what I'm doing. Subscribe as well, I guess, if you haven't done that yet. And a comment if you have something you want to say. I appreciate that. I read them. Even though some of them are trying to bully me, I still read them. But yeah. Are we at an hour? We're almost at an hour. I almost just want to just sit here saying nothing of value for 3 more minutes, just to peak, just to hit that 1 hour mark. But I will spare you that and just end it off here. So bye bye.